I think I heard many, many years ago that knowledge of others or knowing others is like a good start, but true wisdom comes from knowing oneself, knowing thyself.
It's an inside job, baby.
Yeah.
Welcome to the whole wealth journey.
Wealth with a Y. What does that mean?
What does that mean? Are we spelling it funny?
No, I think it's
We're
spelled
using the word Y.
the word Y, right?
Okay, good.
Not the letter Y, the actual word Y.
Well, I know why.
Why?
Because we want to help people get on their path. Then the path is all about their why.
And it's about aligning your finances with the people, the experience, and the passions that give their lives true meaning.
It's getting way beyond the bank statements, the brokerage statements, the trust documents, the life insurance, and taking a deeper dive into your why.
Well, admittedly, we're not for everyone. This is different. We're for the bold ones who really want to dive deeper and seek a life that resonates with who they really are at their core, who finds value in vulnerability.
Well,
You and I do.
you and I do, and that's where we want to play, but not everybody is comfortable with that vulnerability.
Maybe we should introduce ourselves. What do you think?
Oh, that's a good idea. Jim Gebhardt.
And I'm Matthew Grishman. We are the co-creators of the podcast, The Whole Wealth Journey. Ready to find your why? Then let's get started and get you one step closer to unlocking your inner wealth and well-being.
What are you grateful for today?
Oh, you're going to like this one.
Yeah?
Remember our text exchange the other day about introverts and extroverts?
Yes, I do.
And one of our newer, most favoritist clients sharing a definition with you.
Yes.
So,
Have you followed up with that client?
not about this.
Okay.
But I've always been seen as an extrovert.
Yes.
And while at times I like to be an introvert, I like serenity in my own company and being
alone.
being alone. I realize that I do get energy from being with people.
Right.
And the distinction that I would put on that is with people that actually give me energy, right? People that suck the life out of me, I've that's been on my no list for quite a while now.
Right.
And I've done an exquisite job in the last few years. You know, if you suck the life out of me, it's just,
We're all done.
that's it.
Yeah.
My gratitude is something I'm looking forward to tomorrow, which is from the Ireland golf trip. Well, let me back up a second. How much time do we have?
All day, baby. Let it rip.
So, the guys that I have spent a lifetime golfing with are starting to age out for one reason or another. And their ability to either play golf any longer or play golf consecutively on a golf trip like that is diminishing. So Beth and I have had conversations around the fact that I kind of need some younger golf friends. I'm 54. All of my golf friends that I traveled with were at least my age or older, all the way up into their early 70s.
You were the diaper on the trip.
You bet. And one of the beautifully unintended consequences of the trip to Ireland is a new friendship, new fast friendship with my buddy Rich, or more appropriately, Richie, as I call him. We had lunch on Tuesday. He happens to be an estate planning attorney. Wait for it. In Lafayette.
Nice.
And he's bought this practice that was a 48-year-old practice from a super senior estate planning attorney who we actually had a couple mutual clients with over the years. They've passed on. And he's a new business owner in the context of he's never run a practice before. He's got the phone ringing off the hook, and he's kind of struggling with the not the trade, not the profession of estate planning, but of the practice management, of the running the business, of, he was so impressed that we had an executive assistant that handled our calendar and our scheduling and communicated the lunch and made the reservation. He's like, oh my God, I need one of those today. So I realize that we've clicked and we've hit it off. And I'm looking forward to it because Grant and I have a tea time at 4:10 tomorrow. And as I was having lunch with him, I'm like, hey, you want to play golf on Friday? Like, I never didn't connect the dots. It was kind of a duh moment.
Sure.
And he's like, yeah, let me just double check something and I'll get back to you. And I said, invite one of your buddies because we don't really play with the same guys here at the club. Well, of all people, he invites his father-in-law, and his father-in-law is the guy who has the business of Golf Ireland, Golf Scotland. He is the event coordinator. He planned the trip to Ireland and Scotland.
Wow. Oh, nice.
Who I have a very casual, hey Dave, how are you?
Right.
Relationship with, and so they're joining Grant and I tomorrow, and I'm very much looking forward to it because I get energy from Richie, and hopefully I'm giving energy to him, and so that's on my gratitude list today is how I still really enjoy the process of getting to know people, and particularly new people, and kind of discover what they're about and their story. And I mean, he shared some things with me at lunch where I was like, "Oh, wow, you're sharing a lot here in a Cobb salad." Okay. But it's just kind of what I do.
I was going to say, we got a little beyond news, weather, and sports.
Yeah,
huh?
I can't help myself. So that's on my gratitude list is something I'm looking forward to.
That's awesome.
How about you?
Oh, very cool. I've got gratitude on two fronts. One, that we can sit in studio today and record multiple episodes. Here we are a couple of weeks after the last episode dropped, and my voice is still a little under the weather, and it's because we're recording back to back, and we've just got so much stuff in our hearts and in our minds that we want to get going and share. So we're here kind of doing some back to back episodes. What I'm grateful for is this conversation about introverts and extroverts, because like you, I am incredibly grateful for the connections that I have with people and the energy that is co-created when I'm with people that I have a lot of fun with and that I enjoy being around. What I'm especially grateful for is being okay with the fact that deep down I'm really an introvert.
Yes.
Which has been a conflict for me my whole life. I've always felt unsettled about the fact that it feels like I'm an extrovert, that I'm supposed to be an extrovert because I'm so out there and such the center of the party when I am. But the reality is the definition that our friend recently shared about the difference between an extrovert and an introvert depends upon the source of your energy. Do you get your energy from other people, or do you get your energy from being alone? And that just blew the doors off for me, blew my mind, because what it allowed me to be was okay with the reality that I get my energy from being alone.
Right. Well, let's face it, for how many years were you a performer?
Oh, my whole life.
Right.
I'm still a performer.
Right.
I still love showing up wherever that is. Work.
Right, but the paycheck depended on your performance.
Exactly. Yes. Life depended on the performance.
And a showman in the sense that it was a bit of razzle-dazzle with the financial tools of the trade.
Yes.
To wow.
And it blew, and it
the
always,
financial advisors.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That's how you made your living.
It is. And it always confused me that I was exhausted at the end of my performances. Why am I love doing this. Why am I so tired?
Let's slow the roll on this one.
Right? Because it consumed my energy to perform. It consumes my energy. It doesn't create energy for me to perform. It consumes energy to perform. There's no good or bad in that. It just is.
Pause. If you're listening to this show right now, this is one of the most critical, life-altering conversations we can have. That awareness that you had is what I'm going to implore every listener on this show to become painfully aware of in their life, is the exercises, I don't mean physical exercises, the exercises in your life, your daily grind, your daily interactions, whether it's a job, whether you're no longer working, that suck the life out of you and that you could do all day long and into the night.
Yeah.
Because what you're talking about is when you're in your unique ability zone, thank you, Dan Sullivan and our friends at the Strategic Coach for those words, or as we like to say, your superpower.
Yeah.
That is a self-sustaining energy plant. It continuously produces the energy. And when you are in your unique ability zone, your superpower zone, you could literally do it all frickin' day.
Yeah.
And the observation that you had that after all of these command performances in which you were earning your living as a showman, you were exhausted.
Tired.
at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I remember when I would talk to you on a weekend and it sounded like you were making love to your couch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's because you were,
yeah.
right? You were drained.
Yeah. Tired.
You were exhausted.
yes.
And that is a massive thing to pay attention to and to be aware of.
Sure.
Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome. I'm grateful to be aware of that now, because for so long it was conflict, right? I felt like because I was so good at this, I should be more fired up to do this longer, to be able to go longer. Why am I so tired? And then to realize where I get my energy from, to have that free time where I'm by myself, where I am hyper present. I mean, this is something I'm really grateful for, is through the whole wealth journey, through the last 20 years that I've been working on me, exploring me, spending less time trying to figure out what's going on out there and spending more time trying to figure out what's going on in here. I think I heard many, many years ago that knowledge of others or knowing others is like a good start, but true wisdom comes from knowing oneself, knowing thyself.
It's an inside job, baby.
Yeah. And 2005 was kind of the start of that for me. So we're kind of pushing 20 years here on the exploration within, and to become aware and to become hyper present. When I'm by myself on my deck, when I'm by myself out on a trail, when I'm by myself on my paddleboard, when I'm by myself in my car driving from my house to the podcast studio this morning, something clicks in me where I just get hyper aware of what's going on right now. All 5 of my senses wake up. I see things.
We can't really smell very well today.
I can't smell well today,
No,
but I
but-
get whiffs.
Okay.
Even with the laryngitis,
All
I get
right.
whiffs. It's this part of appreciating my introversion that's woken up in me. And I'm grateful for that. One last thing I'm grateful for, and then we'll get on with the podcast today. Guess what season it is? And we didn't even talk about it last episode. And you got 2 of them.
Going back to school.
Back to school season.
Back to school season.
We're a couple of episodes into
Summer's-
back to school season,
summer's
and we
over.
haven't even mentioned it yet.
Summer's over.
It is. And we're back to school.
I'm always sad when summer's over.
Me too. But this year was different. I wasn't as depressed on the first day of school. Now, back to school season's different in our house.
Yes, it is.
We don't have children going
No,
back to school, but
but-
Esposa does.
Right. As a teacher.
Yes. And this year, a big part of my gratitude is for her, for Amy. She and I have been able to walk through parallel paths of both of us experiencing the greatest health crises of our lives
Yes.
at the same time.
Yes.
And although we weren't always capable of being there directly to support one another through that, the fact that we walked through parallel and she is also coming out the other side now the way I have, so that back to school season this year, for the first time in 9 years doing what she does for a living, she went back to school with a smile on her face. That was awesome. The most beautiful I've ever seen her on back to school was this year. So I'm grateful for
And that's a
Amy.
wrap.
I'm grateful for the amazing progress that she's making in her health journey.
That's beautiful.
It's awesome. I'll tell you, brother, when I sit here and think about my own wealth and doing an inventory of my own wealth, which is what we're here doing on the whole wealth journey.
Oh, I didn't bring a spreadsheet.
You didn't?
No.
Thank God.
Okay, good.
Because spreadsheets are later.
Oh, thank God.
Again, when we talk about doing a financial inventory, it's a little bit different than what most people might expect. And this is really where we kind of take all of the money stuff and push it aside, because one of my most valuable assets is my people, the people that mean the most to me. When I think about the most important cornerstones, right? The things that really make up my wealth, the things that I really want to take an inventory of. Come on, money's important, but it's just a tool. It's a tool that gives me access,
Correct.
right? So when I think of the journey that Amy and I have both been on and where she is and where our relationship is as a result of that, that's a huge reason why I feel the wealthiest I've ever felt in my life today.
There you go.
Because of where we are.
All right.
All right. Well,
That's a wrap too.
That's a wrap. We're good. All right. So what we do last time?
Are we fully unpacked? Like, did we get everything unpacked and in the drawers?
No. We just
so the
got
luggage
started.
still has stuff in it.
We barely unpacked the carry-on.
Okay, I'm just checking.
We unpacked the carry-on.
So okay,
Might not have even been the carry-on. It might have been the personal item.
so we haven't unpacked.
Not completely.
All right.
We started. We got the carry-on unpacked. We talked about, from a very high level, what does financial security look like to you? What keeps you up at night about money, right? This is where we start. This is what's in the carry-on bag. This is the first kind of from 30,000 feet, how we start really looking at the whole financial picture.
I would like to take more trips
Yeah.
and vacations
Yes.
where I had something more than a carry-on bag.
Ooh.
Because that would be the what? So you have the carry-on bag, but then you have what? Just the larger piece of luggage. What's that called? The larger piece of luggage?
I guess so.
Yeah, we don't even own them.
The check-in bag.
We don't even own them.
The trunk.
The
Or
trunk.
The
There we
duffel-
go.
The duffel bag.
The trunk. The Louis Vuitton trunk.
Well, in our vernacular, we carry quite a bit in that. In fact, we carry all four cornerstones of our whole wealth inside of that big trunk.
Absolutely.
And that we need to start unpacking
Sure.
today.
I'll stop being playful.
No, I love being playful. So what are we talking about? Now that we've kind of talked about from a very high level what you see as financial security and what keeps you up at night about money, let's really take an inventory of what your whole wealth is all about. What does that look like?
It really is super simple. It's the 4 Ps.
PPPPP?
Yeah, not like the 3 Ps during COVID.
I was going to say, do we get like a check from these Ps?
Maybe. Not from the government, though.
Right.
It's the people. It's the passions that you have. It's how you play. And it's the prosperity in your life. Those are the north, south, east, west of everyone's financial security.
Those are the four cornerstones that
Those are
kind
the
of
4
contain-
building blocks
that contain all of
that
your
help
wealth.
define the corners, right? And
People.
I don't think we need to do the construction analogy that if the foundation isn't right, the rest of it doesn't matter. But I do like to point that out because so often,
I was going to say, let's do that.
well, so often this is just coming to me now. But as money guys, we often meet people that this is not a knock in any stretch or imagination, but there hasn't been much intentionality with their money. They've just kind of lived life.
Oh, yeah.
And they've collected money and in things
And clutter.
and clutter money, and there's not been a lot of thought or intention behind it. Occasionally we'll meet someone like that. And so this is a very helpful exercise because it helps you start to get some clarity on who are the people in your life that mean the most, right? You invested a good chunk of money for you, Amy, and Miles to go back east, right? Airline tickets aren't free.
Right.
Rental cars, whatever else you had to do, right? All of that, those are far from free. You might as well
Yes.
buy a car while you're there and sell it on the back end.
Yes.
So you made an investment in your people,
Yes.
right? You know, passion. I just did that for 8 days in Ireland, right? The combination of passion and play got a little blended there,
Sure.
right? Passion, in our case, is what we do for a living.
Yeah.
We have
It's why
clients-
your feet hit the floor every day.
Exactly.
What is that?
What is that?
Right.
And we'll dive into that a lot more. If you've sold your business or you're retired or you're no longer, let's say, working for a paycheck, we would argue vehemently that you still have to have passion. There has to be a reason for your feet to hit the floor in the morning, whether it's mentoring the next generation in your business, whether it's mentoring and helping your kids get established as entrepreneurs or whatever their path is, whatever their passion is. We have a client who, she's single. We've worked with her for eons, and her passion is cats. She volunteers her time. Her work for her is not her passion.
Right.
Her passion is cats. And she volunteers her weekends. She takes in, occasionally will take in some special needs cats and
Yeah.
help rehabilitate them. And my point is, it's whatever your passion is, whether you're still working or not.
Sure.
Right? The play part's easy. What do you love to do? What brings you joy? What's super fun? Now, for a lot of business owners, that gets a little muddy in the sense that it may still be their business.
Yeah,
right?
I was going to challenge you on the this
I
is
could
easy
tell.
part.
I could tell by the look in your eye.
Yeah, I was like, "Ooh, we got to talk about that a little
Oh,
bit."
100%.
Yeah.
Because it also becomes the void that It's the 800-pound gorilla in the room when you sell the business.
Well,
That if you don't have a well-defined game plan for play
right.
and passion, when you have that event and you move on to the next, stage and phase of life, you had best have a plan for your passion in terms of what you're going to spend your time on, as well as your play.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, whenever that day comes for me, I'm not going to be able to play golf 5-6 days a week.
Right.
I can tell my energy now. 2 or 3 is really, that's enough.
Yeah.
So when I'm 60, whatever, 70, whatever, may I be blessed to be 2 or 3 days a week, right?
Well, it's part of your play. It's not going to replace your passion.
No. But some of the delusions, like
Right.
the story I was telling you the other day
Absolutely.
about the couple that sold their business, or they're selling their business.
Yeah.
And this mutual friend of ours asked them, "So, Bob, what are you and Martha? What's your, what are you going to do in retirement?" Well, we're like, we're selling the business and we're going to move to Colorado and we're going to build our dream home. And what are you going to do in retirement? What do you mean? I just said we're going to move to Colorado and we're going to build our dream home. And what are you going to do in retirement? It was the broken record because the guy hadn't thought of
Right.
what he was going to do to replace the 40, 50, 60, 70, who knows what it is, hours a week.
Right. And
Committed
it's
to
not
the
play.
business.
And it's not play.
It's not play.
No.
He needs a play. He needs a playbook.
Well, and this is where I'm going to go back and challenge what you said a little bit. And I think you and I know a handful of entrepreneurs who are very clear on what their passion is, very clear, but they don't have a clue on what the play is in their life. In fact, they're so consumed with their passion that they live under the illusion that their passion is their play, but it's not.
They need a playbook.
They don't have play in their life because it's all about the passion.
Yes.
And this is where you and I have interrupted the current trajectory of a number of entrepreneurs who have been going out of the old entrepreneurial playbook that this is all about money and making money and making money and building and making money. But something deep down inside of them is yearning for more than money. And until they see the possibility that a huge component to being as wealthy as they really strive to be is about having this separate thing in life called play that has nothing to do with the passions that get them out of bed every day. It's free play. It's tapping that inner child. It's finding ways to create laughter in your life on a daily basis.
And
what are those?
Joy.
Yes.
What brings you joy?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
I mean, my passion, not to get the words confused, but my passion for the game of golf and to go on a trip like I did and experience 6 unbelievably significant historical golf courses in the annals of golf history
Sure.
is incredibly powerful and meaningful to me. And then all the play that comes with that,
Yeah.
not in the sense of playing the game of golf, but knowing the intricacies of what's around Waterville and how charming the mountains are. And actually, when you look at pictures from the trip, some people actually thought I was in Hawaii because of the green ring of mountains that surround the entire bay of Waterville. And you're just like, you were where? No, I was in Ireland. That looks like Kauai,
Yeah.
right? So this well-developed sense of play is a critical component to your long-term financial health and well-being.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have it, that building is going to be out of whack,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
And then prosperity being the
fourth.
final cornerstone. But to us, that's so much more than money, right? I mean, prosperity.
Did you look up the definition?
I didn't.
Keep talking. I'm going to look it up.
There's so much that goes into that word that I love talking about with clients because it incorporates things like health. It incorporates things like future. It incorporates so much more than just a financially prosperous individual.
From the old Latin prosperitas, it means doing well.
Thank you.
A state of being prosperous, a long period of prosperity.
Doing well.
Wealth, success, profitability, affluence, riches, opulence, the good life, and doing well.
Okay, so in the ancient text of Latinus Forgeticus,
Yes.
I get it.
Yes.
We are going to redefine that for clients in
Yes.
terms of doing well.
Absolutely.
Doing well, it has a hell of a lot more to do than just having bags of money, because we can introduce you to lots of miserable rich people, but doing well in the categories that we're going to have the client define.
Yes.
Because through some of the exercises that aren't for today's conversation, we are going to identify some of the critical, absolutely essential values for that individual, that couple now in life in a very present way.
Yes.
And they are going to measure if they're doing well. If you were to ask me a year ago if I was doing well with my health, I would have said, it's okay. Well, a year later, I would, is it perfect? No. We're not trying to measure perfection here.
Right.
This is doing well. So I love these cornerstones because they just start to form an incredible series of conversations that, again, goes back to that clarity for the client on what's most important.
Well, so let's take it from the top. We have these 4 cornerstones, and the first one is people. There are financial implications to the relationships we have in our lives. You just made a choice to go spend time, money, effort, and energy in Ireland with people you don't know.
Yeah.
I would imagine that there are people in this world that if you were invited on a trip like that with certain people you may not have said yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? So identifying the people in our lives that are most important to us is critical. And again, this is where if I were to ask you, right, who are the people that you want to travel with? Who are the people you want to spend time with? We could sit here and have a conversation about it. You could think about it, but this is where a writing exercise becomes so incredibly important. You and I have been using this exercise called concentric circles for a long time now, where we get to take an inventory of the people in our lives. We live in a time and a place where we've got this whole cancel culture thing going on, and people are using.
Is that still a thing?
I think that's still going on.
Oh, okay.
Right, where there are toxic relationships, and and despite the fact that you and I can't stand cliches and we tend to thumb our nose at what the rest of the world's doing, that whole culture has helped me pause a little bit and think about the relationships in my life. I'm so grateful for the relationships I have in my life. What this exercise of unpacking our story and looking at our people is meant to do is it helps us organize our relationships with this concentric circles exercise as far as just seeing who the people are in our life. And it'll help us make some of those financial decisions going forward as it relates to these people.
100%. If the trip that you just took to visit family was to a different, section of your family, right? Or if it was to a cousin's wedding that you were invited to, that you weren't necessarily like, oh, geez, the very first reaction to that invitation is either, oh, that's going to be awesome, or oy vey is mir gesucht, right? So
yes,
tapping into that, who are your people, and that concentric circle exercise that we'll get into a lot later, it is so crystal clear. It then becomes crystal clear on where you should put your time, energy, effort, and money.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the things we're always challenged with on these travels back east is our whole life was there for so many years. There are so many people. I would love to create more than 24 hours in a day that I could have time to go see, because when I think about the people in my life and what I would call the 2 a.m. club, right? The people that, and it's a very small group of people that I've identified that if it's 2 o'clock in the morning and I need somebody to show up, this is a short list of people that show up no matter what, no questions asked, right? Then there's kind of a subset of that with the trusted friends and family. And then I've got this whole slug of situational friends I've met because of different situations in my life, but they never really get closer or inside the circles.
Hey, we should get together. That'd be really fun. It's great to see you. We should get together next week and have lunch.
I have so many situational friendships on the East Coast from jobs that I've had, from schools that I attended. And I would love to see these friends when I'm back, but there's only so many hours. And my 2 a.m. club and my trusted friends and family are really where I want to invest that time. We're full.
No vacancy.
So when I get that invitation to invest a couple of $1,000s on an event happening on the East Coast that involves a bunch of situational friends, I can very easily say no to that because I'm well aware of who the people are in my life that I want to invest in.
You have the clarity on who's important.
And I have the clarity because I've written it. I've made it real. It's
Right.
not just something that rolls around in my head. Passions.
Ooh, how much time do we have?
As much as you need.
In an ideal world, it is your profession. In an ideal world.
Right. It's what your feet hit the floor in the morning for.
Now,
Not just your profession, but in an ideal world, it's your profession that you've chosen because you love what you do.
that
In an ideal world.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you. And the distinction on that is, unfortunately, I think 80% of people
Most people.
don't enjoy what they do, right? It's a means to an end.
Right. However, our tribe of entrepreneurs
Right.
have chosen this path.
Right. And we meet a lot of business owners who are very passionate about what they do.
Absolutely.
I mean,
And
I
intentional.
lived it. I lived it with my dad. I mean, who knew you could have a passion for, I'm going to try to say this as clearly and as articulately as I can, fire retardant concrete decking. My dad did that for
A+.
50 years.
You did good.
50 years.
Wow.
And he had a passion for it. How do you can't make this stuff up, right? If you were to dissect it for him, it also then became about the people that he got to interact with and who he had relationships with for decades and decades and decades. So this concept of passion ideally comes from the profession. But if it doesn't, then the passion is going to come out in some other way, right? It's going to come out in the causes that you are most passionate about, right?
I feel a writing exercise coming up.
Oh, I do too. I do too.
So if you're with us today and you're feeling a little disconnected because perhaps your adventures in entrepreneurialism were given to you, meaning, maybe family business that's been passed down.
Second gen, third gen?
Yeah.
Sure.
And it's not necessarily something you've created, but, or perhaps you're an entrepreneur in your heart, in your spirit, but you're still working for other people and you haven't been able to fully express that entrepreneurial spirit. I think this is an opportunity to press pause on the show and start with a little bit of journaling on how you do give your gifts in your current environment. How do you give your passions in your current role? And how would you give your gifts and your passions in an ideal situation if your role were to change a little bit?
If money wasn't required.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Where we can start. Okay, so you might be thinking, God, wow, how do I even begin to write about that?
Yep.
Think back to when you were a little kid. What was your dream? What did you want to be when you grow up?
Oh, I think most of our tribe knows for me, professional golfer.
There you go. What is it about being a professional golfer that drove you so much? Why did you want to be a professional golfer?
I wish I knew. I saw Jack Nicklaus when I was 10 years old, and I'm like, that's it. That's what I want to, that's me. That's what I want to do.
Okay. And what happened?
It didn't happen.
Oh, it didn't happen?
We talked about that in episode 1.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Episode 1. Holy cow. That was like 134,000
No, not
episodes
134. Episode 1 of the Whole Wealth Journey.
ago. Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess we didn't
Money
talk
got in the
about
way.
that. Oh, right.
But go back to the exercises to go back to what you dreamed of being as a kid.
And if we pick that apart at what motivated you, what drove you, is that here today in a different form?
Oh, absolutely, for me, because it's about, as we've talked about, maybe not use these words on the show, it's this dream protector kind of passion of mine. Like when clients share what their dreams are that requires money, I kind of become that crazy person out in front of the bushes, beating the with the sickle and just cutting the path so that they can go chase it, right?
Yeah.
Is let's get all the money issues out of the way so that you can go chase this thing.
Yeah.
That's the unintended gift of not being a professional golfer, was it kind of set me on this path with learning about money and how money is a tool, and money, it can also be used as a weapon.
Yeah.
And let's get the money piece right so that you can go chase a dream.
Yeah. That's awesome.
That's passion.
Yeah.
And I can do this until, they turn the lights off on me. And as to use one of your favorite phrases, I cross the rainbow bridge.
Yeah. Well, that's why it's a passion and not just a job, because it's something that you can do until you draw your last breath.
Yeah, 100%. So the writing exercise is, again, and we'll say this 100 times, is just get started. Just get something. Get a sentence down, right? And if it flows into a second sentence, terrific. But just let the thing start to percolate, right?
Yeah.
And see where it takes you.
Yeah.
And maybe you're at a stage of life where you've sold the business.
Yep.
And you're kind of wondering what's next.
Yep.
This is a great place to start to tap into what are those passions that you still have. We've met clients where they've gone in a completely different direction. I'm thinking of a client. Actually, he's technically not a client, but he's a longtime friend of mine who owned a very successful insurance agency. And he's been kind of winding that down over time and spending more and more time at the high school coaching two different sports, coaching football and basketball.
Wow.
Because that was actually his passion.
Yeah.
So if you're post-transaction and you don't have a game plan for this and you're kind of scratching your head going, I need to spend my time on something, are there philanthropic causes? Are there charities that you could be involved with that you're very passionate about? Are there mentoring opportunities that you could, in your industry where you have expertise and credibility and clout?
Yeah.
That you could spend your time on. Just to start brainstorming in this writing exercise is really powerful.
And if you look back a little bit since we started kind of unpacking your story, we've written a little bit about what financial security looks like to you. We've written a little bit about what you worry about with money, what keeps you up at night about money. We've written a little bit about what money was like in your house as a child. And now today on the episode, we're suggesting you continue unpacking your story by writing a little bit about the people in your life. Who is that 2 a.m. club group of people? Who do you know that would show up without any questions? Who's the trusted friends and family? And who are the people that make up some of the situational friendships that you have today? Situations that you're a part of that have created some friendships that may or may not stand the test of time. Time will tell. And now we're taking that story into the next chapter, which is that passion. When your feet hit the floor in the morning, why? What was it as a child you wanted to be when you grew up? And how much of that has come true? Are there some aspects of what you wanted to be as a child that have come true? I know you wanted to be a professional golfer.
Yeah, maybe you wanted to be an astronaut, but now you're 68.
Right. Yeah,
You probably can't be an astronaut.
Well, but you could fly on airplanes.
You could fly in airplanes, or you could go invest in your sense of exploration.
There you go. Well, I was going to say, you wanted to be a professional golfer. You may not be getting paid to play golf, but I would say you're getting to play golf where a lot of the professionals get to go play golf.
I have been very blessed to do that.
You've been blessed and you've been intentional.
Oh, very intentional.
That's not just
I'm an elephant hunter.
Woo-woo. You got lucky that you get to play this golf.
No luck involved.
You're blessed because you've had a passion and a drive, and you've done what it's taken to support this passion, even though you don't get paid to do it. You and I had a wonderful conversation about one of my passions, and I was bitching a little bit to you about, I've been told I'm really good at the speaking thing. How come we don't use that more at Gebhardt Group? How come I'm not out on stage like talking to big groups of people, and I wish we did that more and I got paid to do that more because I like doing that. That brings me energy. I enjoy that.
Okay.
And then you asked me about, well, when was your last speaking event that you did? And, I do a bunch of pro bono talks in the world of recovery and alcoholism and addiction and family codependency and things like that. And I seem to do a lot of public speaking in that area. And, it doesn't pay me directly 1 red cent of money, but it sure makes some mammoth deposits in the old spiritual bank, in the old fulfillment and passion bank.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for helping me see that.
Sure.
Because, here we are teaching this stuff, and I had my own blind spot around how my own passion for public speaking and communicating my values, beliefs, feelings, how I see the world to large audiences is actually happening, despite the fact it's not translating to money in the bank.
Well, I would say it's happening also in a different way.
Yes.
As we sit here talking into two microphones with the rippling effect of this going out literally all over the planet.
Right.
And we see the lists every once in a while of where listeners are checking in from.
Right.
And it still makes me go, huh?
But I don't speak that language.
Indonesia,
Right.
Thailand, Japan, what? Huh? You know, I saw an article the other day from the founder of LinkedIn that he's forecasting that the traditional in-office 9-to-5 job will be extinct by 2034.
Really?
So is this not, in a way, the new form of public speaking?
Yeah.
Where you don't have to assemble an audience in a ballroom in the San Ramon Marriott in crappy chairs with shitty carpeting
I love the carpeting.
and a rubber chicken lunch
Uh-huh.
to listen.
Right.
Right? We get to come in here in the confines of Jeff's hot box
Yep.
and, you know, lose a couple pounds while we're sweating it out to the oldies.
Yeah.
No,
I'm a little chilly today. He's got the.
No, it's nice.
He's pumping in the refrigeration.
Well, actually,
today.
they just rang the buzzer, the butcher's here to bring in the meat. 'Cause
Nice.
they're going to hang it in here after. So, you know, we digress on this concept of passion, but it really is teeing up the whole conversation around play
Yes.
and the cornerstone of play.
Yes. And this is something you and I have recognized in almost. I will say I've recognized in almost every proposal I create for new entrepreneurial clients, right? We sit with people, we have this unpack your story conversation, the one that we're having right now. And then when we
take a lot of notes.
we take a lot of notes as we uncover these kind of 4 cornerstones and understanding what financial security looks like and what you're doing here, what you want to get out of this, what some of your big goals are. We then present you with a proposal. Right? This is what we see as the scope of the work together. This is what we've heard you tell us about your true wealth and the journey that you've been on. And the one section of the proposal that almost every time I have to write to be developed is play.
Can I quote your mom on this one?
You may.
It's good, not great.
Yeah, very much so.
That is always the weakest link in the proposal.
Yes.
That's okay because there's going to be plenty of conversation around it.
Right. And
Right?
it isn't because you and I aren't listening.
No.
It's because I think so many entrepreneurs are so consumed with their passion that
Well said.
there just isn't time for play.
Right.
And yet there is so much more passion to be had if we can slow this whole thing down a little bit, right? Slow down to go faster and start incorporating play. Start incorporating what Dan Sullivan has taught us in our strategic coach class about free days.
Sure.
And about the creativity
Sure.
that comes and how much more passion we can drive and how much more impact we can drive if we get away from it every once in a while.
Question for you,
Yes, sir.
and it's somewhat directed at you and rhetorical to me. How much play have Hank and did Wes have in their careers, have in their lifetimes? Was play an integral part of Wes's life and Hank's life?
Hank is starting to play more now than he ever has.
Well, I love him to death. He's been in the 2-minute warning for 15 years.
For new members of the tribe
Sure.
who don't know who Wes and Hank are,
Fathers.
fathers of your 2 podcast hosts
Yes.
here today, Wes Gebhardt, Hank Grishman,
Correct.
the 2 men that you and I look up to more than any other men on planet Earth.
And play, good golly.
I don't know if they could spell play. What was your alarm code? Was it
Yes,
play?
let's retell that story.
When you would come home from school and
Right,
undo the alarm
the home alarm code
in your house.
at 6332 Danbury Drive, which we do not own the house anymore.
Right.
Was work.
I bet you the new code is play.
Work. WORK. You can have any word in the English language when the security company calls you and says, Mr. Gebhardt, what's the security code? Could have been sunshine, could have been rainbows, could have been butterflies, could have been Syracuse University basketball.
Orange.
Work.
Nice.
So do you think there was a lot of play
No.
in Wes's life? And I'm not picking on him because he had a horrible beginning.
Not during his entrepreneurial years.
He
no.
had a really tough middle and
Yeah.
a wonderful end.
Yes.
But
The play was at the end.
play was not part of the conversation until he retired at 79.
And even then, I don't know that Wes saw it as play. I think he saw it more as the shift in his passion.
Well, yeah, because I got to do something now.
It went from fire retardant concrete roofing products. Did I get that right?
That's really good.
Close?
Yeah, the retardant part.
Thank you.
You did very well.
Thank you. He transferred the passion for that into the passion he had spending time with you and the grandkids, playing golf.
Yeah, and the desert and some travel.
I don't know that he looked at that as play, though. I think that became more of the, I don't know that their generation was allowed to see
right,
play.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So I think that's just much like we said last episode that you're predicting the future, that our children are the last generation to learn how to drive. I think our parents were the last generation that refused to give themselves permission to incorporate play into their lives.
Oh, I thought you were going to say they were the last generation that knew how to work.
That too. Although you're doing a pretty good job perpetuating this shit we call work. I declare on a regular basis that I never want to work a day again in my life. And it's through this whole wealth journey and integrating it all into my life and living what we call a congruent life that allows us to kind of separate that old idea of that's work.
Sure.
And we have to be so driven to work. And we see how valuable it is to incorporate play. Now, as I'm watching Hank try to incorporate a little bit more play into his life, it's kind of cool. I think that's where the freedom is starting to come, where he can actually look at the job and go, you know what? After 49, almost 50 years of doing this job, my work here is complete.
Yeah.
And for him to be able to get to that point, I think only happens because he's starting to incorporate this fourth component to his whole wealth journey, which is play.
Next week, I'm taking it's all virtual. I would prefer if it was in person, but it's a certification.
Oh, is that
a word?
Right. It's back to school week for you.
Yes, it is.
Certification.
Thank you. I'm getting hungry.
Yeah. Is it taco time
Well,
yet?
when we smelled the barbecue down the street here today, when we took a break, and I'm like, oh dear, I can't stop thinking about that. It is a certification, is a certified exit planning advisor.
There you go.
And some of the pre-work that has gone into it is a wonderful book. I'll save that for another day. But some of the stats in it are staggering.
Yeah.
And to the point of play, I think it was 80% of business owners that sell their business regret the transaction within 12 months.
Oh, ouch.
Now, we could leave it there and cliffhang y'all, but we're going to give you the why.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because they don't have a playbook.
They don't have a plan
They don't have a plan
of what's next. Right.
What we call what's next.
Yes.
In the context of play, in the context of passion, right? The barbells on this thing, prosperity and people, they're fine. They're great. They got enough, right? But in the middle of passion and play, no gots.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why they regret it. Also because their identity, right? I think if we were to go pick apart Hank and Wes, their identities have been their passion.
Correct. Right.
And we see that all the time with business owners. They define who they are as people based on the businesses that they've built or the passions that they've, right? And when you take that away, and now you have this big block of time that you've really no game plan for how you're going to spend it other than, okay, we're going to go build our dream home in Colorado.
Right.
Well, once that's done, or the cruise is done, or the 2 months in Hawaii is done, well, then what, right? And that's the part that we love to do.
Yeah.
I mean,
Help people
with all due
discover it.
respect, you are a frustrated travel agent.
Yeah.
You come alive in our conference room when you start talking with clients about, this resort and this cruise and this place in Alaska and blah, 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 blah. I just love. I'd sit back and sell the popcorn because you just go off.
I love helping people explore adventure and get unstuck and
it's
get
so
emotion.
fun. You come totally alive when you talk about it.
Yep.
That enthusiasm is contagious because then they start to look at one another and go, oh, we've always wanted to. Wow, we've never really stopped and thought about this before, that we want to take a cruise to Alaska or we want to go see the blue-footed booby in the Galapagos Islands.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we have a neighbor, they're in their 70s. They built this beautiful custom house in their 70s.
Wow.
Like it's probably a 4,000 square foot custom home, which in this neck of the woods costs a couple of bucks.
Yeah, that's a
and
museum.
why would you do that? It just conceptually doesn't make sense for me. Anyway, he is a retired photographer from National Geographics. And our boys, through Gebhardt Bros, do the garbage cans and the newspapers and water the plants and everything when they go on their trips.
Right.
They just went to Antarctica.
Wow.
Because
it's lovely this time of year,
the
I've heard.
the final list of penguins that he has not photographed happened to live there. So they went there for him to be able to go on an exploration. I mean, it's just, I love talking with people about their play.
That's awesome.
Right? I mean, I would no sooner think of going to Antarctica to look at penguins. I mean, if you told me there was a golf course there,
Well,
you know,
maybe there will.
maybe I'd bring a couple of yellow balls so you'd see them in the snow.
Maybe Mr. Kaiser's working on something that you don't know
I
about.
hope so.
Yeah.
Dream golf. Let's go, baby.
Okay. Prosperity.
Yeah, whatever.
It isn't what you think.
No,
It isn't.
it's not.
Now, it's important, and in an episode or two, I think actually our next episode, we are going to start talking about how we measure the financial component to our prosperity.
As we said earlier in the show, in the Latin Grammaticus, whatever it was, it is, simply put, doing well.
Doing well. What you and I tend to be so curious about, so much more than how much is in the IRA and how much is the building worth and how much is the business worth and what does the, pro formas look like going forward and the profit and loss statement and the balance sheet. Those are all very important documents that we're going to talk about. But before we even go there, where you and I get incredibly curious is to understand more about your relationship with money, how it started. What was money like as a kid growing up in your house? What was your experience with it? Did you have enough? Did you have too much? Or were you the Goldilocks kid that had just the right amount, right?
Haven't met them yet.
We haven't. Usually it's one or the other. But what's your money story? So this is another opportunity for a little bit of writing exercise. Because what we're doing here is we're unpacking a story that most people you and I have met have never written. It's up in their heads.
Sure.
Everybody has a story.
Sure.
Everybody has the book. It's in their heads. What we're trying to do is get it out on paper so we can bring the parts of the story to life that need to be brought to life that haven't been brought to life yet. And this is a part of your prosperity that goes way beyond bank statements, way beyond what the brokerage accounts tell us.
Well,
it's your money story.
And in the context of doing well, maybe some of our business owners have spent some of their health to acquire their wealth.
Whew.
And in the health category, doing well has suffered.
Yes.
That's why we're saying that prosperity is a bigger conversation.
Oh, yes.
Right? Maybe there's been some imbalance in the people relationships because you've been so focused on the business. And if a meaningful component to prosperity is money, how can we then start to align that money to reinforce and make your prosperity in the context of doing well better?
Absolutely.
Look at all the money you and I are investing in our health. I have never spent more money on trainers and testing and supplements and peptides and all kinds of things I didn't even really know what they were a year ago.
Yeah.
That is in the context of doing well. And God bless, we have the financial resources to pay for these things because they're not covered by insurance.
No.
Right?
No.
But this prosperity conversation is, I love all four parts of the cornerstone. I mean, don't ask me which of my kids are my favorite, right? It's like all four of these are just,
they're different.
Well, they're very different, but
they all work together.
They all work together, and as much, I'm going to let you in on a little secret.
Oh, please do.
As much as it serves the client, it helps us do our job better.
Tell
right?
me more.
The more we know,
Oh, right.
the better we are able to deliver on whatever the final construct is of the money conversation, of the financial plan, of all the traditional, conventional things that they taught us way back when, even in the certified financial planning, land of 7 steps, right?
Yep.
The final deliverable for us is incorporating these 4 pieces. How many times have we met with a business owner where they come in guns a-blazing on their portfolio that's going Mach frickin' 5, and by the time we're done with all of this work, we look at them and we go, you know what, Tom? Yeah, your 401k and your IRAs, they need to be about as boring as watching paint dry.
Right.
And they're like, no, I'm not going to. It's like, okay.
Tesla. Buy me Tesla.
Right. And it becomes looking at, because they've shared so much information with us.
Yeah.
This discovery concept has gotten so in-depth and so robust that we have so much more clarity about the client to be able to make recommendations. They go, you know what? I've never thought about that.
Right.
I've never thought about the risk that I take in my company, or in the company that owns my company, or, you know, the private equity that is now owning the company that I work for.
And how unnecessary it is for me to be taking that kind of risk with my liquid assets.
I mean, you're asking for, you know, sure, are you going to probably leave some money on the table? But that's where, I mean, we'll get into this in other episodes, but that's where we get into the risk management conversation, as how we really see ourselves at the end of the day.
Yes.
Is as risk managers with a 10,000-foot view, not just, hey, got a hunch, bet a bunch, put it all on NVIDIA.
And as risk managers, we also have to identify where risk exists in these 4 cornerstones of wealth.
Yes.
Right? There is risk in relationships with people. There is risk in the passions that we pursue. Right? Calculated risk, but there's risk associated with that. There's risk in the play that some of us like. I like to go out on trails and steep cliffs, and I mean, there's risk associated with that. And then, of course, there's risk to the whole prosperity conversation. That's a little more, I guess, obvious, right? The risk that we
It's
would
a
deal
little
with
more
in the
obvious
money
for us.
conversation.
Yeah. But it isn't always necessary for the business owner.
No, it isn't. It isn't. So we have at least started the unpacking process. And at this point,
Wouldn't you love, sorry to interrupt, wouldn't
Yeah.
you just love to know what our tribe is thinking right now? Like, I wish somebody would, I don't know, send us a text, an email, a phone call, a smoke signal, a carrier pigeon, with just what their thoughts are
Yes.
from all of this very unconventional, untraditional conversation about money.
I would love to hear from you. How we people can reach out and do that, right? You can text us on the show. You can send us a text message.
Really?
So if you're listening on a smart device, in a mobile device, in the show notes, there's a link to text us. You can also visit our website, gebhardtwholewealth.com, click connect with us, and we'll get to know one another. We'd love to hear from you and what you think about some of these concepts, where you are. How was this writing exercise for you? Right? You're starting to unpack your story. You might have a few pages written out in the journal right now. Is there anything you've learned about yourself that was just an incredible aha? We would love to hear about this. Now, we've done a whole bunch of work to get started. I think what's most important that you take away from today is understanding what we mean when we talk about the assets that make up your whole wealth. We're talking about your money. We're talking about your people. We're talking about your relationship you have with yourself. We're talking about these cornerstones of your whole wealth, being your people, your passion, your play, and your prosperity. And we're looking at them in terms of how they interact together, how they are in alignment with one another, because nothing is more important in the world of wealth management that you and I live in than helping people align their financial resources with the people, the passions, the play, and their prosperity.
Come on, everybody does that.
Everybody does that.
That alignment, I know I'm like a broken record, but that's my favorite part.
Yes.
Right? That's
Yes.
no. That's my favorite part.
Well,
The alignment conversation that's why we keep Kleenex in the conference room.
sure.
But when people start to gain clarity on that.
You and I have met so many incredible entrepreneurs who look at their bank accounts at the end of the month, and despite having plenty of great cash flow, they're wondering, where the hell did all my money go? At least that was my story for a long time.
Oh, we've met lots of people like that.
Yes.
And that's why the tagline for our original show, which was called Financial Sobriety, was be intentional with your money.
Yes.
Well,
That
while
intention doesn't change.
No, while that may not be a tagline per se, it is absolutely one of our cornerstones with clients.
Yes.
And when you think about it relative to the 4 cornerstones that we talked about, that alignment in building all of that is critical, right?
Yes.
Otherwise, we're not trying to build the Leaning Tower of Pisa, right? We're trying to build something that's in alignment with who you are.
Yes.
And God, we could keep talking about this for days, but I think we're going to wrap it up today.
Well, thanks for playing today. Hopefully you got something out of this. You've got your story started, because where we're going next is we're going to dive deeper into those financial assets. Next episode, Unpack Your Story Part 2. We're going to be looking at how you can treat your personal assets the same way you treat your business assets. That personal, yeah.
Come on.
Oh, come on. Let's take the best playbooks from the smartest business owners on planet Earth and how they run their business, and let's talk about how we apply that to the family business. And with that,
That's a wrap.
Thanks for joining us today on the Whole Wealth Journey. Whatever your path may look like, our purpose is to make sure that your way forward aligns with your core values and intentions. Are you ready to start planning for a future that's rich in wealth and well-being? Then click like and subscribe, and make sure you don't miss a single episode of the Whole Wealth Journey.
So if we've struck a nerve with you today, where do people go?
You can find us at GebhardtWholeWealth.com. That's GEBHARDT wholewealth.com. And once you get there, make sure you connect with us so you can take the first steps to finding your why. We'll see you next time.
Jim Gebhardt is a registered representative of and securities offered through Brokers International Financial Services, LLC, member SIPC. Jim Gebhardt and Matthew Grishman are investment advisor representatives of Gebhardt Group Incorporated, a registered investment advisor. Brokers International Financial Services, LLC, and Gebhardt Group Incorporated are not affiliated. The opinions in this podcast are for informational purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or investment recommendations. To determine which investments or financial advice may be appropriate for you, consult a financial advisor prior to investing. Any reference to market performance is based on historical information, and there is no expressed or implied guarantee of future performance. Opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect those of Brokers International Financial Services, LLC. The topics discussed and opinions given are not intended to address the specific needs of any listener. Gebhardt Group Incorporated does not offer legal or tax advice. Listeners are encouraged to discuss their financial needs with the appropriate professional regarding your individual circumstance.